This is a Studio Series 1 and 2 Optimus Prime.
Through the windowless packaging, you can see him all bondaged up. The rest of the packaging for this is pretty alright. I do like this artwork on the side, not too much on the other side.
Here's a quick look at the back with the robot mode. Unfortunately for the vehicle mode, you can see some of the more cursed stuff.
Holy hell, what the fuck is that?
Here he is, and here are the two accessories he comes with. We'll get to these later.
And man, he looks really great. I'm loving the way this guy looks, and I also love the size of him.
I feel like I said that really weird.
He's definitely larger than his previous counterparts, and I'll be doing a proper comparison later, so stick around for that. The colors on this figure are absolutely amazing. It's such a vibrant, bright red. I love it. And the blues on here are such a nice, deep blue. Let's start off by taking a look at the head sculpt. In my opinion, it looks really amazing just from all around. A little bit of detail on that forehead piece. You have his iconic blue eyes, and the detail on the mouthpiece is done really well, I think. And the head sculpt is different from the mainline one, and I'll show how later. You get some nice tiny detail up here on the shoulders. I will say this gray part kind of looks weird, but I do feel like I'm kind of just nitpicking there. The chest piece is looking really great, I think. Some tinted see-through plastic. The shoulder pieces are looking great with the Autobot insignia, the iconic smokestacks, some nice sculpt work for this elbow section, and then a little bit of detail on the arms. And what I really like about this figure is how the back over here is folded up nice and neatly. It's done a lot better than his previous counterparts. Turning over to the back, you have some of that nice back detail. It looks really good. You can see it is red paint, but I think the paint matching is done pretty well. You do have 4 ports on the back. These are different sizes. This port is 5mm compatible, just like that. However, the bottom ones are the ports to store his weapons, like so. They do not fit in this bigger one, so. Turning the figure back around to the front, I think the abdomen section looks great. I think the color of paint they have on here looks amazing. I do also wish this was painted. It sticks out being different colors like that. Here you can see the sculpt of it is done really well. This section is all painted, unlike his mainline counterpart. This section looking nice and clean, and some really nice detail going on throughout the legs. Some nice sculpt work of the legs on the back as well. This blue section of the legs also looking really great. Here you can see all that nice detail going on. I love the way the wheels on here look. They're simple and clean. And then here's a quick look at the rest of the legs. Once again, the blue on here is absolutely amazing. And you get some paintwork over here as well. And yeah, he looks great. Now let's do some size comparisons because he is so much bigger than his other counterparts. Here on the right is the mainline figure, and you can see the Studio Series figure is so much larger and just kind of towers over him. He would call him daddy. Here he is next to a knockoff of the Studio Series 38 that I own, and you can see he's still just a bit taller than him. Here is all 3 of them standing side by side, so you can get a better idea of how they all fare. And just for a fun little comparison, ignore the mess on my desk. Here he is next to the Robosin Signature Series Optimus Prime. And just for fun and a tease for a future video, here he is next to the YOLO Park model kit sent to me by YOLO Park. Make sure to subscribe because I am going to be doing a video on this. I posted the building process on my TikTok, which you should follow me on there. And here he is next to Legacy Armada Optimus. This was a great figure, by the way. You should go check that video out. And here he is next to the optional girl because you guys love her so much. And here he is next to her son. You guys are going to have to watch my previous video to understand that reference. How many videos did I just promote? So now let's get into the figure's articulation. So this one has head movement that can go up and down. You can do a pretty good side-to-side wobble and a full 360 rotation on the figure. These arms can spin a full 360 as well. These arms can move out to the side, but he does end up bonking himself. Some nice bicep rotation, and then you get a double hinge joint for the elbows. Next, these hands can wobble around, and you can spin them a full 360. You get a nice full 360 waist rotation as well. You also get an ab crunch. This is also utilized in the transformation, and then you can bring the legs out to the side over there, and the leg joints are kind of tight, but you can bring them forward pretty high up. That is impressive. Unfortunately, however, they can only go back that far. You get a rotation over here, a knee bend that goes about right there, seems to be a little bit past 90, and then the foot articulation, you can move the feet back and forth, and you can pivot them to the side over there, and all the way over there. And there is a full 360 rotation on the feet. Articulation on this guy is pretty good, minus the back leg movement. Also, this figure feels really solid. It feels nice to hold in my hand. It doesn't feel like they skipped out on any points on this figure.
Except for the vehicle mode, which we'll get to. And if you guys are curious, here's a look at the backdrop.
There's a little bird. Look at the birds.
Now let's get into a further breakdown with the figure's prior counterparts. So here's the optional girl, and not really. We're gonna do the mainline movie figure. As said earlier, this one is much taller, and I do feel like the articulation is a bit better.
One of the main things being the head can actually move up and down, compared to this one where you can't do that, so. Taking a look at the head, while these do look similar, this one is bigger, so it is a different head sculpt. I do feel like there's more detail on the arms of this figure,
but I think the arm management is done much better on this one, and I prefer that over having some extra detail.
Further down, we'll notice this section isn't painted like it is on here, not a big deal.
The major thing to note is how the legs are much more blue on the Studio Series figure, and I like that a lot. You can also see the differences in the detail, and the feet are designed differently as well. Turning over to the back, we'll notice that I mistransformed the mainline one.
Now look, an idiot.
Well, I refuse to refilm anything because I'm lazy, so we're just gonna move on. Just call me a silly goose in the comments.
But now comparing to a knockoff of the Studio Series 38, I can't compare anything about the color because the color is different on here.
Other than that, it's the same as the real Studio Series 38. Well, notice the head sculpt is just so much different on both of these figures. In general, it seems like a lot was changed when retooling this figure. I think I prefer the chest piece on the 102 figure. I do slightly prefer the abdomen on the 102 figure as well because it's a little bit slimmer. Quick look at the legs, we'll notice they're done entirely differently. Now I want to do a comparison with the YOLO Park figure.
Obviously, this one is going to have a lot more detail on it. It's a model kit, but we can take a note at some of the similarities and the differences between the two. It's not super fair to compare these two. I just thought it'd be fun because this one is a non-transforming figure, so it does have a lot more detail on it.
However, I'm saving this one and the others for one future video, so make sure to subscribe for that. Here are his two accessories.
I think the sword looks pretty great. It's painted in a metallic dark gray. The sculpt work and detail on here is done really well. This basically can go in his hands like that, or into the arm over here, just like so. And then another way to do it is to peg it into this hole right there. And there's a look at that. This can also be done on this side. Kind of wish it came with two of them, but that's alright.
And here's a look at his blaster. I think it looks kind of pathetic, honestly. For what it is, the sculpt work on here is done pretty well. The lack of paint isn't really a big deal.
And the way this goes on is basically we just open this, bring the hand in, close that back up, and we put it on with the pointy side facing outwards.
And it looks like a pathetic pea shooter.
It's nice to have, but it doesn't look too great.
And I was wondering if any of the War for Cybertron weapons fit in, but they do not, unfortunately.
So far with the robot mode, it's pretty impressive. I like it a lot.
I 100% recommend this figure just for the robot mode alone. But we're not done yet. Let's see how the vehicle mode is, and then we'll do the transformation at the end of the video.
Here is the vehicle mode, and from the front, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Once again, I love the vibrant red colors on him, but turning him over to the top, this gray section is kind of ugly, and then turning him to the back, this is a mess. This is probably one of the worst trailer beds I've seen on an Optimus Prime figure. It doesn't even look like one. It just looks like a jumbled mess. It is awful.
And there's no proper way to put a trailer on him. I mean, we could do this if we take this off and then put it on like that, and I mean, that kind of works.
Let's bring these back out because it seems like I accidentally put them back in. So the truck mode detail on here is pretty good on the side. The grill piece on here looks really nice. You can see some of the tiny headlights, and then this section looks pretty good. Kind of wish it was silver. Quick look at the other side. And the wheels on him, once again, like I said earlier, they look pretty nice. The management from the underside looks pretty good.
Essentially, the front mode of the truck is pretty great, except it just falls apart in the back.
But now let's compare them to the other figures. We'll start with the mainline one.
The Studio Series one is definitely much bigger.
This one has some blue tinted windows and blue headlights. This one also has those fins at the back where this one does not. I think the top section on here looks better because this is all red, and the back section on this is not great and kind of small. Still, I prefer it over this one.
Now compared to the knockoff Studio Series 38,
I think the truck mode on this one looks amazing. I do apologize if things pop out since it's a knockoff. Things aren't going to fit in place properly. It does seem like vehicle mode wise, this is a bit bigger than this, so that is interesting. But here's a quick look at some of the detail comparisons. This one has a lot more rivets on it, and then I look at the side of both of them, and then the trailer on this is done so much better than on this.
It seems like throughout its iterations, the trailer bed has just gotten worse and worse.
So now there is weapon storage in the vehicle mode. The instructions say to do this part during the transformation, but you can do it afterwards. It's not that big of a deal. Just open his legs up like that, and then we can plug the sword in on basically either side over here. So I'm just going to do this one because that's what the instructions specifically say. Close that back up. There is also weapon storage for the blaster that goes right over here and there, and you can also put it in this part as well. And then I accidentally brought these back in. I mean, weapon storage always looks kind of awkward in vehicle mode, so it's not too big of a deal.
Now let's transform him from robot mode to vehicle mode.
I'm going to turn into a truck now.
The first thing I like to do is with the arms, open these flaps up so that way we can bring in the hands, close that back up, come here and do the exact same thing on this side, close that back up, open up this chest piece over here, and then we want to take this piece, which can be kind of hard to get at, grab that and then bring it up and then fold in the head. It is supposed to unclick when you do that, and then bring that in, close that chest piece back up, turn around to the back, untap this section, bring that down. Let's move his arms out to the side, bring out the legs,
rotate the top 180 degrees, and what I like to do is just bring this in here just to kind of hold this top section in place so it doesn't flop around. We will untap it later, unfold this arm piece out all the way, and the same on this side. Bring this piece 180 degrees down, and then go ahead and do the same with this one. Take his arms and then bring them down, rotate it like this. Rotate these parts of the arms around, so that way we can bring it in. We can actually move this piece out of the way now. Get the arm all the way in there, and then bring this piece up and tab it in. Do the exact same thing for this side, bring in the arm down there, rotate it like so. Rotate this part of the arm, and then bring it in there, and then just kind of fiddle with it until you're able to get this piece to tab into place. place. Take this wheel out and same on the other side. Now we can come back to this section and bring it in. Make sure it's in all the way. So that is mostly the front section done. Now we're going to turn over to the back, come to the legs, open this up, rotate this piece around, turn the foot around and just bring it in. Same thing on the other side, bring this out, rotate this around, rotate the foot and bring it in. Bring in the legs and the feet do tap into each other. Now onto whatever the hell these things are. This piece needs to tap into here. So go ahead and bring that in and make sure everything is secure in place. Go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side. Make sure everything is in place. Bring that down, turn over to the other side, bring that down as well. Close in these skirt pieces and they do have a pretty tight fit. They can be kind of hard to take out. Now bring out the fuel tanks on both sides. And it is easy to accidentally push these back in when you're messing around with the figure, so be wary of that. And finally, let's take the top section and close it in. Make sure everything is lined up properly. And here is the vehicle mode for the figure. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.